Hi guys. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of like an unedited, just a quick update. So, guess who I just got off the phone with? So, I spoke to the scientist. We will just call him the scientist for now. I probably have like food in my teeth because I just finished eating. But I wanted to get this video out there. The phone call went very, very well. I was not expecting that. I was expecting possibly a lot of anger, maybe, some hostility because, I'm pretty upset about how things have been going with this treatment. And I imagine because it's his product, he probably was not going to be thrilled to hear that things were not going well. It appears that he may have been unaware that his product was being used the way that it was used. So for those of you guys that are wondering whether, again, I don't want to talk about the legalities because I don't really know, but from what it sounds like, he was probably not aware that his product was going to be infused. I believe it can be injected into joints and things like that, but this kind of adds another layer of, let me close that window. It's really annoying outside. This adds another layer of sort of, not good, I guess is the only way that I can describe it, because I think this is the reason why my doctor was so anxious to do this, because she was doing it sort of behind his back. She was requesting this stuff under the false pretense that it was going to be used one way, and she used it a different way. According to him, he has not spoken to her in over a year, which is kind of weird because I'm trying to think back. Well, yeah, I think I paid for the treatment about a year ago. So that was probably the last time he spoke to her. Because I was researching stem cell clinics about a year ago. It is currently the middle of September. Actually, no, we're getting close to the end of September. And anyways, the phone call went well. Was very, very cooperative, very nice. Actually just very like, let's get the facts. I want to know what's going on with you. And it's kind of weird because, my doctor did claim to have spoken to him and to have presented my case to him. And he was asking me a lot of questions. I mean, he was asking questions. He was just like, what happened? What are your issues? Have you had these tests done? What tests do you have? Like, just all these questions. And I felt almost kind of foolish because my doctor didn't run any of the tests that he asked me about. I told her what he had run, and he also wasn't really able to clarify why those tests had been run. The GAD-65. I did tell him about the SED rate, that the SED rate went down. And he was like, okay, that's good. But I don't know why. I don't know why he said it was good. But yeah, like I said, I felt foolish because I was getting angry at him, and he really wasn't the person that I should be getting angry at. I just don't understand what my doctor was thinking. I don't get where she's coming from. I don't know why she would risk herself this much doing something like this, and putting herself at risk and putting me at risk. Because I'm not talking about the fact that she infused this product. I'm talking about the fact that she didn't do any blood work, that she didn't really, like he explained to me, he said, we've done a lot of studies on stem cells. There's no standardized dosage for exosomes. He said stem cells are more powerful. We see this in our studies, which I'm assuming now that I'm looking at his, because he's got a few studies ongoing out of one of the universities here in the United States. I'm not going to say which one. He's just using stem cells. they're just using stem cells. They're not using exosomes. And so he's like, I don't know what research you're referring to. I don't know what, he was kind of just as lost and confused as I was. And he also was kind of relieved that I had gotten in contact with him to sort of let him know. And I told him, I said, I'm glad that I'm talking to you, because it's like a game of telephone, because she would always mention his name and like constantly name drop. And I'm like, you might not want to do that. If you don't want me getting in touch with this guy, you might not want to bring up his name, because, she's the one that told me, look him up and find him and see his work. And I'm just like, okay. So he has requested for me to do some tests, and he said, you need to go to your doctor, because he is not a physician. He's not a PhD. He is just, he's not an MD. He is just a PhD. So that's why I call him the scientist, because he's not a doctor or a physician. He said, you need to get this blood work done, see if you can get it done. And he also asked me for other stuff. He said, look into your blood work that you've had done, over the years, whatever, and just get it to me, and, whatever you can find. But he said, this other stuff, I want you to see if you could get your doctor. He actually said, don't ask, tell them. He said, it's covered by insurance. It should be covered by insurance. Tell them to get you this blood work. Just go and ask, to say that you're going in for a physical and that kind of thing. So, I did not expect that he was going to even tell me to do anything. Like, he just was like, I thought that he was just going to be like, why did you do this? Or I have nothing to do with this, or something like that. And I kind of got that vibe at the beginning of the phone call, because he was kind of like, I got another call to be on. I got other things to do. And he was on the phone with me for an hour at least. And that was after like a 15-minute delay, because we couldn't get through. Like, I couldn't get through to his, to his office. So I was just really pleasantly surprised. He said, I have some colleagues that I'm going to talk to today. I'll talk to them about your case, and all of that. He said, but in the meantime, try to get that blood work to me, and anything else that you have. He asked me, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you done this? Have you done that? And I said, yes, no, no, whatever. Whatever I have tried. And I told him, I said, I have a lot of issues, a lot of gut issues. So I understand people's frustration, doctors' frustration with treating me. You know what I mean? So, I kind of tried to kind of but he listened. I really thought that he was just going to cut me off and just be like, whatever, just do this, and that. And he would listen when I would say something. And like I said, I was just really, I was almost unprepared for it. My heart was pounding at first, and I was like, why am I so anxious? And I think a lot of that is because of the experience that I've been having with my current doctor, that just, I don't know where her head is at. I don't know what she was thinking. This can have really serious consequences for her. That's why I don't know why she would take this risk. Maybe I gave her several opportunities to tell me no, to tell me, look, this is not a good idea. I kept bringing it up, and I even told her I can go to another doctor. I can go to the stem cell clinic. Excuse me. I can do anything else except, and to not put her at risk. And she was like, I don't want you using any other product but this one, which happens to be his product. In which he was, I think he was aware that his product was being used. He wasn't aware of the manner in which it was being used. Or maybe he was kind of like, I don't know. But from what it sounded like, he was like, no, this is not. He's like, my studies have not shown this. Like this is not, there's no standardized dosage for that. There's no, and he actually told me it's not that high of a dose. The 300 billion exosomes, he says, that's like the equivalent of 20 million stem cells, which is not a lot, according to him. So, I think it's in my best interest to do what he is asking me to do. Unfortunately, I can't get in to see my doctor for another month, a doctor. And so I am now having to reach out to my immunologist, which is the one that put me in the situation in the first place, and hoping that she will comply. You know, it is in her best interest as well to do what he's asking. Um, you know, he's not going to talk to her, I don't think, and I don't think he wants to talk to her. I don't want him to, and I don't think he's going to. And I prefer to be the intermediary in this situation because I'm tired of kind of not knowing who's saying what or what's going on. So I emailed her office. I'm not expecting to get an email back. I'm going to have to again be forceful and be a little bit aggressive with this because if I'm not going to get things done. And she's, you know, I know that I don't think she's going to fight me on it. I think, like I said, it's in her best interest because things are not going well. It's in her best interest to do what he's asking us to do. So that's where I'm at. I can tell you I'm angry, you know, like I'm kind of like I actually didn't really know what to think, and right now I'm kind of like on the verge of tears because of the amount of money that I spent on this treatment. He asked me, he said, "How much did you pay for it?" And I'm thinking to myself, so the money didn't go to you. You know, like, so the money was, you know, I just kind of sat there like, don't you know? Like, so did he not see any of this money? It's his product. And I told him, and he was just like, oh my God. Like, he just was just like, yeah, I don't know. And so I'm a bit upset about that because, you know, I want my money back now. So, and I think, you know, I think because I did this in the US, I think that was one thing that I had in mind. I was like, I know that if I can fight this in court, I may be able to win. I just don't want him to get thrown under the bus because he does seem like he wasn't fully aware of the situation. He wasn't even fully aware of my case, I don't think. And I don't know. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know if she's just like in her mind, she's like, I know better because I know your history more, or if she was just like, I don't care anymore. Like, we're just throwing whatever we can at this without really even thinking about it, which she was never like that. You know, in the beginning, she was extremely, I mean, overly cautious with things. And now I'm just seeing the opposite. Like, she could care less. And, you know, my gut told me, you know, this is not good. And I didn't want to talk to him before this whole situation because I figured she would get mad if she found out, because it sounded almost like she was in communication with this guy. Like, she was talking with him and they were, you know, I don't know, like they were kind of tight or something. And she was, you know, I mean, she called his lab in front of me. So I was like, oh, she's like on a first name basis with this guy. And apparently she's like, I haven't talked to her in over a year. And so yeah, it's, you know, I know a lot of different feelings are going to start to materialize over the next few hours, the next few days, but I am going to try to get this stuff done, what he has asked me to do. The fact that he just like literally off of a phone call was like, okay, I need you to do this, and this. I was like, man, you know, this guy has really, you know, he's thinking on his toes like pretty quickly. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this one out. Hopefully she will comply. You know, I think like I said, she should, because this is not gonna end well for her if she does not. So I just wanted to update you guys. I feel kind of, you know, like I said, I feel stupid because I could have spoken to him prior, but she is my doctor. She has been my doctor for 10 years. And I don't know. I don't know what she's going through or what she's dealing with in her mind. Um, you know, at this point, I'm pretty sure that things are just not going well. I'll continue to give you guys updates. So far, this month has been, I mean, I guess nothing major as far as, you know, any surprises. But I should be getting you guys probably an update next week. It's September 21st today. So the update will probably be a few days early, but at this point it's kind of like does it really matter? Sorry, I'm looking down here. I'm looking at my notes because I like, as soon as he started talking, I just got like my notepad out and started writing and writing and writing. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to try to call my immunologist because, like I said, they're not answering my emails and I'm kind of pissed about it. She's just making a bad situation worse. So yeah, let me get off of here. I will upload this immediately so you guys are seeing this in real time. And so you guys know probably not to move forward with this kind of treatment unless you have had a lot of, extensive labs done. So, it seems to me that exosomes and stem cells, from what he's telling me, and this is his area of research, stem cells are much more powerful. But either way, it appears to me that a lot of testing has to be done as far as, viruses. He said viruses, inflammatory markers. He wanted, my ANA run again because I haven't had my ANA run in a while. He's like, yeah, you got to do a lot of these things. And he also told me, he says, we need to get you to a better place before we do anything. Like, and that's the reason I didn't do stem cells, is because I heard that they have this horrible reaction in the body where, they just make people even worse, and they make histamine issues even worse and all of that. And so, exosomes were safer because they're not actually cells and blah, blah, blah. And apparently, from what other patients have told me, they can cause the same issue. This kind of, I guess, viral reactivation, which I don't know if it is actually viral reactivation or some other kind of reaction, but, he's requesting these tests. And yeah, so, yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get off of here and see if I can reach her office. I'll see you guys probably next week with an update.